Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Courtroom Files Live. Happy Monday. We're going to start off in Judge Simpson's court today where he's holding a preliminary exam.
And in the early morning hours, where did you begin sort of organizing, if you will, that morning?
When we arrived at the location, we went to the right in front of Hatcher Library, the graduate library. There's a overhead kind of a place that it's underneath the pavilion. I'm sorry.
And approximately what time of day was it?
It was probably 5:30, 5:41.
And where did you go from there?
We moved in front into the dining and placed ourselves pretty much right in front of the Hatcher steps.
And did you hear anything going on audio-wise while you were either under the graduate library overhang or as you were entering the area at the bottom of the stairs of the Hatcher Graduate Library?
Yes, I was Director Marshall that was bringing warnings to the others.
Warnings in what regard?
To vacate the premises essentially.
And during that time period, did you make any observations of anyone doing anything?
Yes, many of the subjects that were in the examination began to place things in front of us, such as logs, cement blocks, lights, chairs, tables.
And did there come a point in time when you moved?
Yes, it was that we were instructed to move forward. We began to move forward and move some of those items out of the way to clear our path.
And then what happened?
We would stop until we were told to move forward. Then we moved forward to the subjects.
Okay, and when you say you were told to stop and then you were told to move, was there a particular way that you were moving?
Yes, it was pretty much a shuffle step. Just basically one step forward. We had a baton in our hand and we'd say move back, move back.
And you're also doing something with your arms.
Yes.
As you were just testifying. For the record, can you describe verbally what you were doing?
Basically, we have the baton close to us and then push it out about arm length just to move this up back.
And was everyone that was in that line, were you in the front line, would you say?
Yes.
Okay. And everyone in that front line next to you, were they moving in the same manner?
Yes.
And there's a reason you're all moving in the same manner?
To basically protect ourselves so that nobody can get behind us and we're all in one line to secure our area.
Is there any kind of particular training or theory of what you were doing that morning?
Yeah.
How you were doing it? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's considered uncanny training.
You mentioned that your uniform has a body-worn camera on it.
Yes.
Just for the record, verbally, can you describe where it's located on your uniform?
Sure, it's on my left breast, attached to a magnet clip.
And then you also have something next to that, closer to the middle of your body. Can you tell me what that is?
This is my radio mic. It allows me to reach out to our dispatchers.
Did you have your body-worn camera on and operating on May 21st?
I did.
And that was located on your body, as you described it today. Did you review your body-worn camera video before you came to court today?
I did.
Did it appear to be working normally?
Yes.
Also, as part of your assistance in this investigation, after May 21st, did you have an opportunity to review any other officer's body cam video?
Yes, I did.
And if I may, I'm ready to show some video on the screen, if that's possible. I need to got it. Oh, I forgot to plug in. This one, yes. Sorry.
Is your screen on there?
It's so far it's matching up to that.
Okay, but there's a screen in front of you that's on.
Do I need to do like that? Okay. Here we go. So Cargill, do you recognize this body cam video?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
That is my body cam.
And you said this is about 5:30, 5:40 in the morning. Can you describe, is this where you testified that you started sort of under an overhang of the graduate library?
Yes.
This play point of about 49 seconds in, were you proceeding to go somewhere?
I believe that is where we were proceeding to go in front of the steps I actually went.
Yeah. I'll see. Okay. And at this point in time, you testified that you and other squad members lined up. Is this what we're seeing at approximately 8.2.3 minutes in your video?
Yeah, I believe we're in line formation at that point.
Okay, and where are you in relationship to the diag, and where are you facing, things of that nature?
So I'm on the the east side of the line, and we are facing north.
Until this point, is everyone in the line standing?
Yes.
I'm just kind of going forward.
People start running towards the scene. You get a group of about 8 coming in from the northwest.
Officer Carver, you testified that you were ordered to proceed, and is that how you can hear people say move back?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now, I paused this.
The northwest.
I paused this at play point, approximately play point 4.24, 4 minutes and 24 seconds in. This is your body cam video facing north, correct?
Correct.
And obviously your eyes are facing north and you're looking around, I assume.
Yes.
Do you recognize anyone? Did you recognize anyone at this point in time on May 21st and also in your body worn camera video?
There were a couple that I recognized prior to that, but most of it was, I think I have heard, yes, I in this screenshot.
Okay, and who do you recognize specifically and how?
Objection. Your Honor, I think there is case law specific to an officer using a video to identify a defendant in a criminal proceeding. There are 2 instances where that's permitted, and I'm citing US v. Lapierre. I can give you the site shortly, but there's 2 instances where that's permitted. One, when the person to be identified's appearance is significantly changed, or 2, when the officer has a long existing relationship with that person that they are identifying. Neither of that has been made on the record, so that's the basis of
Well,
my.
I think that I note the objection, but I think your question, you asked or two-part question. So I think it has to go to that. That may answer part of what defense counsel is doing.
I'll rephrase, Your Honor. Had you had prior contact with any of the individuals that you saw on May 21st up until this point in time?
Yes,
Okay. And those individuals that you had prior contact with, were they personal contact as far as being close to them or dealing with them in some fashion?
yes. We had numerous protests on campus during that year, and many people identified were participants in these private protests.
And some had been arrested as well, correct?
Correct.
So did you know some of their names?
Yes, sir.
Did you know what they looked like?
Yes, sir.
And based upon that prior contact and knowledge, were you able to then, on May 21st, yourself personally observing them that day, able to recognize and identify any of them?
Yes.
Okay. And now for purposes of identification with this video, your body worn camera that depicts what you're in part seeing that day, can you tell us who it was that you identified? Were able to identify?
Yes.
Before you do, with that foundation, your objection's overruled. I think she's satisfied the requirements. Go ahead, counsel.
Go ahead.
Yes, starting from the far left, there's a pink shirt, blue jeans, and long hair.
And I'm gonna go to where you described with my pointer. Are you referring to this pink shirt?
Correct. That is Miss Willow.
And you had prior contact with her before May 21st.
Yes.
Miss Willow, do you see her in court today? And I would ask at this point in time, Your Honor, that if you would ask anyone in the courtroom who has a mask on to briefly pull them down or remove them.
Yes, those that are wearing masks, please. No, you're good back there. You're good. I'll leave you. All right, go ahead.
Did you say yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Could you point to and describe something that Ms. Willow is wearing today?
Wearing a black sport coat as well as a pink.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness has identified defendant Willow in this matter.
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, directly next to Ms. Willow is Mr. Fromm. Black shirt with a yellow circle with tree insignia and blue jeans.
Directly to which side of Ms. Willow?
It's her left, our right there.
Where my arrow is?
Yep.
And you said that is whom, I'm sorry?
Mr. Fromm.
And do you see Mr. Fromm in the courtroom today?
I do.
Could you please point to him and describe something that he's wearing?
He's wearing a tan scarf as well as a black shirt, long hair.
Could you point to him? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. May the record reflect this witness is identified defendant I detective Sean.
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
Anyone else?
Yes, directly next to Mr. Fromm. With a white tank top, black shorts. And a red cookie head blue. Could be his left arm.
Are you referring to this individual with my
Yes.
pointer is? And who is that?
That is Miss Samantha Lewis.
And do you see her in court today?
Yes, I do.
Could you please point to her and describe something that she's wearing?
She is in the back row there. She has a mask covered down, white cookie head and black and green here.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Did you wish the record to reflect
I'm
that?
sorry.
No, it's okay.
May the record reflect that the witness is identified defendant Samantha Lewis. Thank you.
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
Yes, one other person just to the right, wearing red cookie head over his head. A dark colored shirt, dark colored pants,
And who did you recognize him to be?
Mr. Cosmo.
And are you referring to this individual right here?
Yes.
Where my pointer
Yes,
is?
sir.
And do you see Oliver Hosler in court today?
I-
Could you please point to him and describe something that he's wearing?
Gentleman wearing a white shirt and
Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness is identified defendant Oliver Hosler.
Without objection, record shows so reflect.
Increase the shield officer one up here like it is. Not a problem.
Now, Officer Carter, up until this point in time, what were you and your line doing?
we were just standing in formation at that point.
And now at this point in time, what's occurring?
Members of the line are starting to clear a path, because the subjects are starting to throw things towards our area.
And in particular, did you notice one of the individuals that you identified previously engaged in any of that?
Yes, just prior to this, Mr. Hosler takes the table and places it in front of us.
Is that right here? Is that Mr. Cosler?
Yes, please.
At this point in time, were individuals beginning to do other things?
Yes, they were, sorry, they were starting to throw items at us, obviously, and it was around this time that they started to link arms.
Do you recognize anyone in this particular play point of 547?
Yes, the subject in the brown shirt with the white mask, Mr. Shapiro.
And you see Mr. Shapiro in court today?
I do.
Would you please point to him and describe something that he's wearing?
He's a black shirt, no white, or black sweater, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness is identified defendant Henry Shapiro.
Without objection, record shows so reflect.
Officer Cargill, do you recognize, you testified just a little while ago that you started linking arms. I apologize, I don't know why. Do you recognize, or can you describe verbally for the record what you saw that day and what is also depicted in your body camera at this point in time?
So there's numerous people, linking arms, Mr. Shapiro, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Ball, are all linking arms, along with other people along that line, directly right in front of our line.
And you already identified this individual as Mr. Shapiro, correct?
Correct.
And then to his right, do you recognize that person?
Yeah, Ms. Lewis,
And to her right, do you recognize this person?
Mr. Brown,
And just behind him, the head popping out, do you recognize that person?
it appears to be Mr. Brown.
So how great are these protectors of the people?
Let the rescue get their rest.
As you're approaching, I'm assuming you're approaching based on your video. I don't want to put words in your mouth. What are you doing at this point in time?
So at this point in time, we are instructing these subjects to move back, move back.
Who is that that's directly in front of you at this point in time?
Mr. Shapiro.
And what, if anything, are you doing, and what, if anything, is he doing?
I am pushing forward, instructing him to move back, and he is using his body weight to push up.
Who is directly in front of you at this point in time?
Ms. Lewis,
And what are you doing, and what, if anything, is she doing?
I'm instructing her to move back, and she is using her body weight to push up against mine.
Objection as to what Ms. Lewis is doing, Judge. He can only testify as to what he's doing.
He can testify as to his perception, however, what she's doing, and he was there, so objection's overruled. Go ahead.
Could you feel it?
Yes.
What just happened right there?
I felt.
I'm gonna just pause it to adjust some audio. Who is in front of you at this point in time?
Mr. Fromm,
Let me go back. You say Mr. Fromm, who is it? Where is he?
he is directly to my, he's wearing, it appears to be a white mask.
Right here?
I believe so, yes. Yes.
And that is who is directly in front of you.
That's Mr. Fromm. Which is the name of his body weight.
Let me stop. I'm just gonna stop so the record's not over each other. Go ahead. What are you doing at that point in time, and what is he doing, if anything?
I'm pushing, basically trying to use all my body weight to hold them back and they're pushing up.
And can you feel that pushback?
Yes.
You can testify.
Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Welcome again to the Courtroom Files Live. We're going to go ahead and stick with Judge Simpson here for the moment. This is by far the most intriguing thing of the morning, but I do have eyes on Judges Wolf, Shackelford, Meineke, McBurney, Middleton, and I'm waiting for Judge Fleischer to come online. So watching a lot of different things for you this morning, but this is the most interesting by far. I do have a poll up on the screen about campus protests. Let us know your thoughts on that and participate in that. That'd be great. If you have any other comments, please feel free to participate. We'd like to this week start to get a little more viewer interaction if we can. Also made some visual upgrades over the weekend. Hopefully you appreciate those. Let's get back to court.
Without commentary from the witness.
Well, I don't know if it's the best evidence rule, but if he's speculating as to what's occurring at that
Sure.
point,
I
I won't allow that, and I'll sustain the objection. So I'll ask you to rephrase your question.
I will. You just testified that Mr. Shapiro was pushing against your body, pushing back. You were pushing forward, he was pushing back. Obviously, your eyes are above your body cam, correct? Is it fair to say that body camera doesn't capture everything that's going on? You can see different things versus what your body cam can.
Correct.
So when this went black, what are you seeing? What's going on?
Mr. Fromm is directly in front of me, right on me. It's essentially his chest or his body against my chest.
For the record, I want to be clear because Ms. Ryan asked about Mr. McKean Shapiro. Is this about just Mr. Fromm or is this about Mr. McKean Shapiro as well?
I apologize. I think I just spoke.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you talk? Who was it at this point?
Mr. Fromm.
We're talking about.
Correct.
Who are you observing at this time?
Mr. Cosmo.
Could we please clarify, is he observing at the time or is he observing the video and commenting?
Fair.
Fair. On May 21st, who were you observing at the time of? On May 21st of 2024, who are you observing that is depicted in approximately play point just after 9 minutes and 8 seconds in? Do you recognize any individual in your body cam video that you saw on May 21st?
That I knew was him at that time?
Or later learned their name?
Correct. Yes, that was Mr. Cosmo.
And can you tell me from your memory from May 21st, what are you doing in relationship to Mr. Cosmo, who's in front of you in regard, and what if anything?
I am pushing forward and he is using his body weight to push back against my microphone.
And can you feel that?
Yes,
And were you ordering him to do anything at the time too?
I believe there was orders to move back.
And did he?
No, he did not.
Who are the individuals that you saw on May 21st, 2024 that are depicted in play point approximately 9:40 with your body worn camera?
Mr. Fromm and Ms. Lewis.
And what, if anything, do you remember from that day that you were doing, and what, if anything, were they doing?
I was attempting to push them back, and they were pushing against me using their body.
Could you feel each of them do that?
Yes, I could.
This is what you do to us. It's not the door. It's not the door. This is what you do. This is our right. This is our right.
How your body worn camera ends. What happened at that point in time?
At that time, somebody's body was pushing against mine and was able to hit this button on my body cam, which deactivated it.
You testified a little while ago that you had an opportunity to review other officers' body worn camera from that day. Did you have an opportunity to review Officer Wancha's?
Yes, I did.
And from the perspective of reviewing Officer Wancha's body cam video, were you able to recognize anyone in his video that you had previous contact with prior to May 21st?
Yes, I was.
And in that previous contact with this individual, did you know their name and did you know what they looked like?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna object to him testifying to anything in anyone else's body camera. We don't know what angle this is, where Mr. Wancha was in the direction of Mr. Cargill, and if Mr. Wancha can testify as to his own video.
Does that go to the weight or the admissibility?
Both the admissibility or the weight, but also, again, this is just someone's body camera. I don't know where this is, what point of this is. I believe Mr. Wancha is going to testify today. He can testify as to the contents of his own body camera, but I don't think Detective Cargill should be testifying to someone else's. Plus, I don't even know where this is. This isn't even where we just left off.
Judge, my objection is, I guess with his own body cam, it's kind of blended where he's testifying personal observation and then what he also sees being played in court. But with regards to another officer's body cam, he lacks personal knowledge of what was taking place. His only knowledge of that is from watching that body cam outside of court and then presumably now wanting to watch it while the Attorney General plays it.
If I could briefly respond, I might.
Go ahead.
I think all this is a little premature. I'm not going to be asking this witness to testify about what another officer did. All I'm going to be doing is showing this individual that he knows from a previous incident, showing him on this camera to identify him. That's it.
It's solely for the purposes of identification,
Correct.
not the details of the content of what's contained in the.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I don't understand why Detective Cargill can't just testify to who he saw and what he saw that day without using someone else's body camera. That's his own personal knowledge, but that's just to act.
I'm gonna overrule your objection based upon the response. Your objection, which was basically, I'm gonna overrule that objection also on that. Yes, I have.
I would just renew my USB lip ear objection. The sole purpose of this video is for this detective to point at it and identify a person from this video.
Yes, but the foundation which which was the basis for your objection previously, he just laid regarding that prior to any identification.
I would agree on the first video, just not necessarily this one, so I wanted to make that.
What? No, he just testified to that. So objection's overruled. Go ahead.
And did you personally see this person there on May 21st as well?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Anyone from previous contact in this particular body worn camera?
Objection. He's already identified people, and this actually overlaps in time with the video of his own body cam footage.
He hasn't identified this person, Your Honor. I wouldn't be repetitive and wasting the court's time otherwise.
The problem is,
I don't know who it is, so go ahead. You guys.
she's clearly asking him to make an identification only from this video. She asked him.
No, she's not, because he stated, okay, so what was said, and Madam Attorney General, correct me if I'm wrong. He said he's had previous contact with this individual. He's come into contact with the individual. He knows their name.
And he also testified he saw him personally there on May 21st.
Correct.
I'm picking a point in time to demonstrate to the court what this person looks like and have him identify him for the record, for purposes of identification for the exam. Unless counsel wants to stipulate to, Mr. Mueller wants to, attorney wants to stipulate.
Yeah, let's not hold our breath on that. But as to your objection, I'm going to overrule it because I think the foundation has been laid for him identifying this individual, particularly if he saw them there, knew who they were, knew their name, identify it from the video.
Judge, I guess I'm saying, if he's identifying him from on May 21st, says, oh, that's Mr. Mueller right there. I recognize him. Then this video is totally irrelevant. We're not making an identification based off video, but she's playing the video and he's making the identification when he watches the video later, says, oh, that's Mr. Mueller I see on the video. That's my objection. If he had seen him on May 21st and recognized him, then there's no objection there. He can make an identification off personal
I
observation.
don't even understand that. He's looking at the video, saying this individual's there, what he observed, and he's identifying that person from this video.
Right. And that's
Or
what
he's
I'm objecting.
identifying the person on the video based upon what he had observed. So I guess I'm unclear. I'm unclear as to your objection.
I guess I'll let her ask the question. I'll withdraw my objection at this point. That's premature.
Thank you, because
Sounds
it's
like-
going to be overruled. Mr. Minnick.
Can we identify the timestamp?
Sure.
Thank you.
Like point, approximately 6 minutes and 12 seconds.
All right, go ahead.
Of whose body cam?
I know.
Watch it.
I'm gonna go back slightly if I can.
What?
That's a little clear, okay. Do you recognize anyone from seeing them that day personally and prior experience in this video clip? Paused at approximately 6 minutes and 12.
Yes.
Who do you recognize? And can you describe what they're wearing?
Gray shirt, pants, shorts, and mask.
And where is he sort of in relationship to this stilled photo so that I could use my pointer to point him out?
So he is, if you go to the white table that is right in front of the screen, and go straight up from there, right there.
This is Mr. Mueller.
Correct.
Okay. And do you see Michael Mueller in court today?
I did.
Would you please point to him and describe something that he's wearing?
He's in the back wearing a red scarf as well as a white shirt and white pants.
And I guess I failed to ask if people could remove their masks, but I don't think was a problem. May the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant Michael Mueller. Record.
Without objection, record shall so reflect.
Let's take a break from this for a second and go over to Judge Middleton's court where he is doing criminal arraignments and sentencing.
2022 that you and your then boyfriend Nathan Fugate underrang about $133 worth of stuff at the Walmart in Three Rivers. That's commonly known as retail fraud third degree, and it's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That warrant issued, Mr. Fugate got arrested and pled guilty and took care of his part of this. But this warrant has been out for your arrest for 2.5 years. How did you come to get arrested this weekend?
Someone made a phone call about a supposed domestic that they thought I was getting beat up. So
where was that?
the Sturgis.
What night was it?
Saturday.
The reason I volunteered to do this is I thought if I would take care of this, if you entered a plea to this misdemeanor charge and waived extradition, I would go ahead and give you time served and let you then go back to Indiana and take care of your other charges. If you plead guilty to this charge, that's what I would do. You don't have to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty. And if you want to, I could even appoint an attorney for you. But you won't be able to get out of jail because you have this extradition hold. If you enter the plea and I give you time served and you sign the extradition, you could maybe be removed in the next day or so. Ms. Wagler, are you willing to admit that you underrang some merchandise at the Walmart store on November 15th of 2022?
Yes.
Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No.
Or other than what I just told you, did anybody promise you anything else?
No.
Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Stickley, the public defender, is here with us, but I could also appoint an attorney to specifically represent you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand all that?
Yes.
All right. Were you and Mr. Fugate at the Walmart store that day?
Yes.
And they stopped you before you got out of the store, and then you went back and were in the office there, and the police came. Did you underring or skip scan some stuff, health and beauty items, it said?
Yes, I believe so. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's been a while, so.
You made
he pled guilty. He's got new problems. Was he the party in the domestic relations DV complaint?
Saturday?
Yeah.
No, he was not.
You and
I
Mr.
don't have-
Fugate are not together anymore?
No, we do not have anything to do with each other. I stay very far away from him.
All right, well, let's talk about Hendricks County, Indiana. Do you have a waiver of extradition form there with you, officer? Yes, thank you.
Where is Hendricks County?
I don't know where it is. What?
I think it is, it's LaGrange County.
I don't know why they put Hendricks County in here, but it's LaGrange County.
Yeah. If I have the right extradition, I might not be looking at the right paper, Your Honor, but I believe it's county.
All right. Ms. Hendricks, are you willing to go back to LaGrange County and address that criminal matter there?
Yes.
Let me read you the waiver language. I, Stephanie Marie Wagler, am the person wanted by LaGrange County, Indiana, on a pending arrest warrant on the charge of violation of parole. I hereby waive the issuance and service of a Michigan governor's warrant and all other procedures incidental to extradition proceedings, including the right to an attorney unless I've already retained one, and voluntarily return to the demanding state in the custody of the agent of that state. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask the officer to have you sign that waiver of extradition form.
Your Honor, it might be Hendricks County because it's for an escape. So that might be where they're calling the.
All right. Well, then, just officer, we probably scratched it up. Leave it as Hendricks County.
Would I still be going to LaGrange County though?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. We'll find out. Let's talk about the retail fraud charge. Do you have any health issues or anything?
Not really.
Okay.
Asthma.
Okay. On the retail fraud charge, I'm going to order 2 days credit, 2 days. 0 fine, 0 restitution. Mr. Fugate, I think, did pay most of it before he was discharged from probation unsuccessfully. $125 or 2 additional days. But I put in here, may be released to Indiana on extradition waiver. See retail fraud judgment. Now, I appreciate your willingness to do this. This speeded the process up. You could have ended up being stuck here for a week or 2 weeks before we got a pretrial and got everything done here. So and the extradition waiver. All right, so hopefully they will transport you either today or tomorrow to Indiana so you can deal with the cases there. What are you on parole for?
Level 6 escape from house arrest.
What were you originally in custody for?
Level 6 escape.
We extradited you twice in the past.
That was a different
What
case.
What was the original card charge that you were in custody that you escaped on?
I went to prison for a level 5 possession.
Of methamphetamine?
Yes. And then
All
they
right.
put me out on house arrest and I slipped my band and then they gave me a escape and put me back in prison.
Well, that's too bad. Sorry about that, but you need to get back to Indiana to deal with this. And this will facilitate that. All right, officer, if you'd send me that waiver, I'll sign it and we'll get it back to you. And then you guys can let Hendricks County know if she's ready for pickup.
Where is Hendricks County exactly that I'm like, is that close
Well,
to right?
let me Google it.
I think it's by Indianapolis.
I've never even been to Hendricks County, so that's why I'm like, what?
Well, let's see.
Yeah, it's Western Indianapolis. Your Honor, I'm reading between the lines. I think what might be is there's not a, and I was talking to the court clerks, there's not an actual prison, supervisory prison in LaGrange, Indiana. So they probably have it going out of the capital or wherever their Department of Corrections is.
Danville, Indiana.
It says on the warrant, it says Plainfield, Indiana. So I just Googled.
Well, there's a Hendricks County is, Plainfield is the prison, women's prison. So I think that's what it is.
I was kind of confused.
All right, let me give you both of these. It's Plainfield where the prison was. All right, Miss Wagler, good luck to you. It took care of the misdemeanor and took care of your extradition. Shane appreciates that. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, you're good to go. All right, next we have a sentence with an unrepresented defendant, and I asked Mr. Stickley if he would stick around for this. Brianna Smith, would you come up and have a seat over here?
Over here?
Right here. This is file 2519 OM, People versus Brianna Smith. This is a charge of disorderly person, which allegedly occurred in February of 2025. Let me get back into the. Ms. Smith has had several of these recently. She had one in 2023, which was an illegal entry and disturbing the peace. They had shown one in 24, which was 242143. She had demanded a trial in that case, and it was going through the process. And she ended up entering a plea in this case, 25199 OM, and the 2024 case was dismissed as part of the plea agreement. Miss Smith was very hard for me to get a handle on. She's bouncing through life like a pinball in a tilted pinball game. And she was bouncing around on this day like a pinball. She was in the street, she was causing a ruckus. And they dealt with her a couple times that day, and then finally they cited her. I didn't know what to do with her. So poor Autumn Kiefer, who was here with us, I asked for a pre-sentence report to get some help on what to do. Miss Smith waived her right to counsel, and The other case was dismissed. She pled to this case. Then she never showed up for her pre-sentence investigation interview with Miss Kiefer. So she has a fairly extensive minor misdemeanor record. Retail fraud, 2013, a couple of those were dismissed. Disorderly conduct in Walcottville, disorderly person in LaGrange, disorderly person in Elkhart, criminal mischief in Elkhart. Just earlier this month, possession of marijuana in LaGrange. So we have this case where she pled no contest to this disruptive behavior on February 1st. She didn't show up for the pre-sentence interview. And so Ms. Kiefer's like, well, I don't know what to say. So she recommended 30 days in jail. She also has 2 PPOs against her from Indiana. Therefore, the officer is recommending no probation, 30 days jail, credit 0, leaving 30 days to serve. Hopefully, while in jail, she can take advantage of services in the jail. Does that about sum it up, Ms. Kiefer?
It does. We played phone tag. Ms. Smith, from what I can gather on her client history form, has no way to contact her directly. Her mother is her message phone. She has no employment. She has no housing. I can't put someone on supervised probation if I'm unable to get a hold of them. So looking at her criminal history and the time she's served previously, that's the best recommendation that I could come up with.
You are struggling. You're unemployed, you're homeless, you keep coming into contact with the police. The contact on this particular day, and your mother was here the last time. And although she loves you and cares about you, you can't live with her or she'll end up getting kicked out of her residence. So she's supportive, but she can't provide a place for you to live. And as I indicated on this particular day, February 1st, they got several calls about you running in the street. It's cold. February 1st is very cold. You're in pajama pants and a reflective vest, and you had that vest on the last time I saw you. You stopped a truck. You were also intoxicated. And then that was that. So you're here today, and I'm pleased about that, but you're very hard to get a hold of. What I had really wanted to do was connect you with Pivotal or Keystone or somebody to get some services, which we have not been successful in 2023, 2024, or 2025. You're still out there floating around like a cork in the ocean. Ms. Smith, I did ask Mr. Stickley to come and observe this. You entered a plea in this case without benefit of an attorney. You waived your right to have an attorney in earlier case and this case. And the other case was dismissed and you entered a plea here. Mr. Sickley is the chief public defender. Do you wish to continue to waive your right to have an attorney here and have me do the sentence, or do you want me to get an attorney to assist you?
Get an attorney, please.
All right, there is a recommendation of jail, and there's a likelihood that I'm going to order some, if nothing else, to get a hold of you long enough to figure out which way is up. Let me ask this right now. Where are you staying? Are you still homeless?
I'm staying here with him.
Mr. Holman?
Yeah.
But you were homeless too, so.
I stayed in my mama's house at 506 Wendell.
Say that again?
506 Wendell.
Wenzel?
Yeah, 506.
All right. So you got a place to, whose house is it? Are you in the house or she got you out in the garage?
I'm in the garage too.
Yeah, that's not ideal. All right. I don't know what to do with you, Miss Smith. You're here. I don't want to punish you for being homeless or penniless, but you keep causing a ruckus in Sturgis. And they were tired of dealing with you that day. Frankly, I don't know exactly what 30 days in jail is going to do. It might have kept you warm in the middle of the winter, but I'm trying to get some services. And I'm rolling in one direction and you're rolling in the other. All right, I'm gonna acknowledge defendant asked for court-appointed attorney.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna leave plea intact. Set for sentence. If you wish to withdraw your plea, that can be discussed with your lawyer, in which case they would reauthorize the earlier case that was dismissed and then reauthorize this one. But for now, I accepted your plea. You waived right to counsel, told me what happened. I think it was actually a no contest plea because you were intoxicated and didn't have a clear memory of it. But I'm going to set this out about a month.
Your Honor, as far as.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. Stickley.
Just as far as the appointment goes, Your Honor, and I approve that. I understand the situation. I'm going to probably have to buy her a cup of coffee because her day was over on Friday, but I'm going to appoint Casey Strong to this. It's technically John Bush's week, but I have a feeling that this might wrap up quicker than a regular caseload, and Mr. Bush obviously is dealing with what he's dealing with.
All right.
So,
yeah, Mr. Bush broke his leg. And you'll like Casey Strong. I'm gonna set this for sentencing for Wednesday, April 9th at 11 o'clock.
We're going to go ahead and switch back to the preliminary exam going on in Judge Simpson's court. Anybody looking for Judge Fleischer, he is not online at the moment. Perhaps he forgot to set his clocks forward 1 hour over the weekend, but we keep an eye out. If he pops in, we'll see what's going on there.
Okay, could it also have come over the loudspeaker?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember who gave you the order to march forward that day?
I heard Sergeant Bush.
Before Sergeant Richmond gave the order to march in, there was a third announcement, wasn't there?
I don't know exactly what order the announcements were or what the announced. There was first, second, or third. I knew that Director Marshall was speaking. I could hear him talking through the megaphone, but I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying because I was paying attention to what was in front.
So you don't recall Director Marshall in the third announcement saying you have 3 minutes to depart in order to avoid arrest?
Objection has to answer.
I'll allow the clarification over.
I couldn't testify that I actually heard him say exactly that.
So as counsel has pointed out, I've asked you multiple times whether you heard these specific time limits, and I just want to confirm you've said no every time.
I heard him speaking, however, I did not hear exactly what he was speaking to.
He has said he hasn't heard the time limits. He said that to you, Ms. McNulty. He said it to Ms. Askew. Can we move on?
For bearing with me. When you said move north. Like that, that's already been asked. Did you tell Mr. Kozler to put his hands up?
I do not believe I did.
He did though, didn't he? He left them up. We saw that in the video too, didn't we? His hands were up for over a minute, weren't they?
For a period of time. I don't know exactly.
I want to talk to you about the time immediately before Mr. Kozler was pulled through the line of officers. So you testified earlier that Sergeant Feltis was in charge of your unit, correct?
Correct.
And it was his decision who to pull through the line of officers, right?
Correct.
Before he pulled Mr. Kozler through the line of officers, did you talk to Sergeant Feltis?
Okay, as far as.
About Mr. Kozler?
No.
And at the time that someone is pulled through the line of officers, they would be given to the arrest team, correct?
I'd like to make one clarification.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the sergeant's decision. It could be the person on the line that decides to, we call it sweeping them in, and we can decide that too. So it's not necessarily just a sergeant, it's somebody else.
Okay. But in this situation, Sergeant Feltis made the decision. And he made that without your input.
Correct.
I'd like to take you back to when the line of officers began marching in. When that line started moving in, there were also officers stationed on the perimeter of the diag, wasn't there?
I believe that there was, yes.
There were officers stationed on the east perimeter and the west perimeter, correct?
Correct.
And the intention there was to leave the north as the egress route, correct? And as the line began moving forward.
As that preliminary exam continues, and it looks like it's probably going to go on for most of the day, let's go over to Judge Meinecke's court. This is a courtroom that we haven't previously followed here on the channel, and let's see what he's got going on.
That case was dismissed, of course, pursuant to the Home Civil Training Act, but as you are well aware, those still can be used to enhance. And Mr. Donaldson is certainly very fortunate, again, if depending on the facts and circumstances of this case, is very fortunate that this is charged as a domestic violence first and not as a domestic violence second offense. But I just want to make sure, Mr. Klusny, that there's been no issues related to bond that you're aware of. And then obviously you have other cases that you have to go see, but I want to make sure that you weren't aware of any bond issues.
Judge, I am not aware of any in speaking with Mr. Donaldson, Scott Donaldson, the father.
Okay, good. That's that is obviously, as you can imagine, a top concern for me when I have allegations of a second domestic violence act on the same victim. I need to know that those no contact orders are being followed absolutely and without issue whatsoever. So thank you for that, Mr. Klusny. I know you were talking to Mr. Friedman. So
Judge, I apologize. At some point, I would like to speak with you on the Dunlap matter in a breakout room with Ms. Krosskoff.
Okay, so go. Let me finish up this case here, and then I can jump into that room. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Judge Meinecke, would I be?
Hold on, Mr. Donaldson. Hold on. There'll be a time where you'll be able to join in. Okay.
Thank
you.
All
right. So for today's purposes, you're asking for how long adjournment, Mr. Phillips?
No more than 2 weeks, Your Honor.
if the court's able to accommodate that.
Not a problem. The only thing is that I think that's a jury trial date. Let me see if that's what's going on the 27th. If that's a Berkeley day. Hey, is the 27th a Berkeley day?
Judge Fleischer finally came online. Probably did forget to set his clocks forward. And by the way, people should be happy. It looks like he's shaved. His beard has been a big controversy the last couple of weeks. Let's go ahead and see what he's got going on this morning.
Is it on the jail docket or on the?
No.
I don't see.
Montanez, it's under Montanez then.
I see it. All right. Come up, Mr. Montanez.
And here's his discharge letter, Judge. And then the list of his medications. He showed, this morning showed for fentanyl, one of the medications, whatever it is an antipsychotic medication. There sometimes can be a false positive fentanyl on those, on antipsychotics such as
which one?
The Quintin.
I see it.
Don't ask me how to say it, I have no clue. That's an antipsychotic. So I'm wondering if maybe that has something, because as you can see, they changed his dosage. They actually upped it to 2 times a day. Instead
I can't imagine that it's going to test positive.
I
Mr. Velasquez or Mr. Montanez, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm telling you now, I will test you like crazy. This is the opportunity that you have to stop using on your own. If you can't do it, I will do it for you. Do you understand? I'm telling you, I'm going to test you like crazy. If you fail to appear at a testing, when they call to test you, I will issue a warrant. Do you understand? Okay, you've got a great lawyer helping you out here. All you have to do is listen to him and he'll take care of you. You go AWOL, likewise, I will revoke your bond. You understand?
Sir.
Okay, all right, so we'll just continue, but is Lisa? Okay, so we need you to stick around so you can sign your bond conditions. We'll let you go. Don't use. 9 times out of 10, it's who you hang out with. When you hang out with the wrong people, they're going to bring you down. Do you understand? Okay. All right, Ray. We got you, man.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Come on up, Council.
Morning, Your Honor.
Do you have an arraignment, sir?
No, Your Honor, I'm here on Ken Sager. You set it for this week since I had to miss for medical reasons. I assume you lost.
Oh, I remember. Okay. So what are we doing today?
I have in, it's not notarized. So, they said we need 2 weeks just for them to decide what on the PTI.
Is everything submitted?
Everything is submitted. It wasn't notarized.
Have you had it notarized?
It will be notarized today and back today. So, yes.
What was the last name again?
Sager, S-A-G-R.
Okay, it's 250 days old. So I'll roll you to tomorrow. I want to make sure that it gets in. And then you can zoom on it so you don't have to be here. But if it's not, I'm going to roll it day for day until it gets done. Okay, all right. Thank you. Mr. Monks. Hey, come on.
The clerk was kind enough to put in your queue a motion to sub on the case.
I've
got it. I don't know if it's there.
I do.
Mr. Rojas.
I see one.
No?
I see it. Okay, I'm signing for you now.
It's a pleasure and a privilege, John. Y'all are not on spring break this weekend?
Spring break in the back.
Should be spring broke. Thank you, sir.
Approaching on Jonathan Lopez, we spoke about it Friday about a minute.
Yes.
So he was not on the docket, not put on the jail list to be brought over.
So let's put him on for tomorrow.
I don't know why it wasn't put on, but that's okay. We'll do it today. If you can just let Ramona know so that we can put it on for tomorrow. And then we can put it on. Okay, thanks.
The case is showing the trouble, that's why they're not, it's,
We still need to bring them over to do a
it says 310, but they're not bringing it for whatever reason.
Yeah, showing like today's date on the website, showing that he should be here, but.
Let me figure it out. What's the cause number again? Let me get this. Hold on.
3284.
Is he waiting for me to call you? That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna email you guys a little bit later to figure out. I need to contact admin to see how we can get him here. Okay, sure, of course. You wanna start doing the arraignments?
Alvarado?
Luis Alvarado, come up.
While we're waiting for him to come up real quick, before we were with Judge Fleischer, we were with Judge Meineke, and he was starting a hearing on a domestic violence. That case is still moving through the system. The defendant there, the family, was requesting, it looked like, that they remove the bond condition of no contact, but Judge is keeping that in place, so that gentleman can continue to not have contact with his family because Judge was concerned about safety. Anyways, let's get back to Judge Fleischer.
So go slow. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarado. So you're gonna translate word for word, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. You are charged with driving while your license is suspended. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Shh.
Check it out, guys.
Okay.
On February 5th, 2025, officers ran a vehicle through the TCIC and saw that there was no return to the vehicle's registration, and that insurance needed to be manually verified. Officers initiated a traffic stop. They made contact with the driver, who was the defendant, who stated he did not have a form of identification and that the vehicle was not insured. The defendant was identified by his name and date of birth, and they received a return for the defendant's driver's license, and it showed to be ineligible due to a suspension for a failure to appear. The suspension date was of November 17th, 2015, with no list date. He has 2 prior convictions for having no motor vehicle insurance.
Mr. Alvarado. I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you not to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? If you want to drive, go get liability insurance, get a Texas driver license, and I will happily take this off. But if I find that you drive, you are mine. Do you understand? Now, I don't know what your immigration status is.
I
want you to listen. I don't know what your immigration status is.
Sorry, Judge.
It's okay.
Sorry, I forgot. It's been a long time since I've interpreted.
Not a problem. If you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in there until this case is over with and shipped off to immigration, which is at least 6 to 9 months. Do you understand? Do not drive. We will have you sign a lease with Ramona. Have you come up here, swear to us that you're not gonna drive. After that, you'll be free to go.
And then después vamos a salir, okay?
All right?
Thank you, Judge. It's been a while since I've seen a deal be alive.
Yeah, they're filing a lot of them. Now. You get a lot. You got an arraignment?
No, Judge.
Let me just blow through your arraignments real quick and then I'll help you out.
Judge.
Tell me.
My apologies. For Montanez, he still has his current bond conditions in place. But we did, for the missed drug test, send him for one today. Counsel was just telling me that he approached on it. I'm not sure if y'all.
Yeah, I'm letting him go now, but I'm gonna.
Wait for the lab results.
Right, and then I want a lot of testing on him.
Yes, Judge. I can adjust the frequency.
Please.
Yes, Judge. So for the BPR, if you could
Just
continue supervision. Thank you, Judge.
Ramona, is it Carruthers?
Yes, Judge, extra.
Ronald Carruthers, come up. Mr. Carruthers, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 2nd, 2024, officers were dispatched regarding a major crash in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officers made contact with the wheel witness. The witness observed the defendant's 2005 gold Chevy Strike an unknown person riding a bike with his vehicle.
Whoa.
Bike, yes, Your Honor.
Struck a person?
Riding a bike, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The defendant then got out of his vehicle and began assaulting the unknown person and then drove away from the scene.
Whoa. You're telling me he strikes someone in a car and then on top of it starts assaulting this person?
Yes, Your Honor. The unknown person fled the scene and the defendant was promptly found by officers 1 block away in a private driveway. That was not the defendant's residence. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed an odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and poor balance. The defendant was detained. He refused SFSTs. The DIC was read. The defendant refused to provide a specimen. A blood search warrant was signed and executed. He was identified by his Texas driver's license.
I have just so many problems with this.
So, Judge, we have been unable to locate the unknown person that was on the bicycle. He fled because he was getting assaulted. We have no way of finding him.
Not only that, how do I know he's not consuming anything after the fact? How do we know he doesn't go home and chug a fifth of vodka?
The DIMS does say he was promptly found by the officers 1 block away.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Promptly is a conclusory word.
I'm pulling up the OR right now, Judge, to see if they have anything more specific.
Can I say something here?
Don't, Mr. Carruthers, don't. Are you losing? Are you losing?
No.
Then stop. Anything else? Was that it?
Looking at times, Your Honor, to see if we can establish when he was found based on when he was dispatched. I don't think we have anything additional, Your Honor. It says, yeah.
Mr. Carruthers, I'm gonna find no probable cause in your case. You know, we have enough death. We have enough dismemberment. We have enough blood all over our streets. Please don't add to it. Please just don't kill someone. That's all I'm asking you to do, man. You know, $40. An Uber will take you anywhere you want to go in this county. Anywhere. Please don't kill someone. Take a seat, please. All right, who's next, Ramon?
Judge Citizen, Terrence Citizen on page 3.
Terrence Citizen, come on up.
Everly Hassan.
You call us, Judge? Everly Hassan?
No, Citizen.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Citizen, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 3rd, 2025, officers responded to a possible intoxicated driver at 5696 block of Beachneck Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant on scene, and the officer stated, while he was waiting at a red light, he observed a vehicle run through the red light. The officer got behind the vehicle and ran the license plate to make sure that it wasn't stolen. The vehicle swerved into the officer's lanes and almost struck the patrol vehicle. The officer then observed the vehicle swerve in and out of its lane, and a traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, who was the driver, and identified him by his Texas ID card. The officer observed an odor of an alcoholic beverage, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant was detained and he refused to answer any questions, including SMSTs. The officer attempted to read the DIC, but the defendant would not let him finish and refused. A blood warrant was signed.
Okay. Mr. Citizen, I'm going to find there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. So you said he had an ID. Does he not have a
Yes,
Texas
he does
driver
not have a
license?
driver's license.
Okay, Mr. Citizen, you are not allowed to drive. I am making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you drive, it's really not going to go well for you. Unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're not allowed to drive. Can you look to see any prior DWIs, please?
There's no prior DWI, sure.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol and any kind of illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'll have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. You will get with Fleischer your bond conditions, and then after that, you'll be free to go. I'm going to have you sign an affidavit promising you're not going to drive unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. You understand?
I got both, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just ran him right now. He was suspended as of February 12th, 2025 for no liability insurance.
So I'm not
Okay.
getting
I
discussion with you. I'm just,
show it next time I come.
she has access to the DPS database for licenses. They're telling me it's not eligible. So until I see differently, then you just can't drive. You understand? So I'll have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I will have you get to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll get you out of here. Okay? Here, all right, come on up. What do you got?
Just real quick, on the amended Moab situation, I can go to the jail and have him sign.
Just log your hours. You know what I mean?
If you wanted him to come here in person, you
I don't care.
Okay.
That's fine. Just log your hours so that you get paid. for doing the out of county, out of time. Yeah, okay. Hey, hi.
A motion to sub.
I'll sign it. Don't worry about it.
Also, he's entering the PTI program. We are waiting on the supervision order, but I was wondering if it would be possible for you to admonish him today. Then that way he wanted to
Admonish what?
admonish him. I think
It's, do you have everything so they can follow the supervision order?
I think so. I sent an email to PTI program to double check, but it looks like everything's in. The only thing that I see is that looks like the defendant had applied for an ODL, and I'm not sure what the status of that is and whether or not.
Okay, if he doesn't have a license,
I think he told me he does have the license, the occupation.
can you look to see, is it eligible?
And I can call him up and double check.
No. I got enough drama.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, she can tell whether he's got a license or not. If he doesn't have a license, he's gonna have to get the portable device and he's gonna have to sign a no driving affidavit.
I think we might be waiting on the device.
What does he have now?
That's what I'm looking right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything at the moment. He said he needs to get the
Okay,
interlock.
yes, it is eligible. So the interlock, I think we might
What do
be.
you have now?
He doesn't have anything at the moment. He said he needs to get the
So
interlock.
I'm gonna, this is 250 days old. I'm gonna set him off a week. If he doesn't have the device on next week, by a week from today, I'm gonna carry him day for day.
Yes, sir.
Let him know. So that's top of page 20, Ramona, top of page 22. 1 week to get the interlock. Must appear. No more wave settings.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Yes, sir. I do have one more. It is off docket though.
I don't have time for all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Too much stuff to do and I gotta do arraignments first. You can come back in a little bit and then we'll do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Butler? Hey, what's going on?
So we have Everly Hassan, judge, on the docket this morning,
Okay. Is she
and
here?
she is set for plea today.
Okay. Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Have you written it up?
Yes, it's done. It's ready.
Come up, Miss Hassan.
This is one that I think that you're intimately familiar with.
Miss Hassan, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 1 day that you've done. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, it will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. If I were you, next time you get into a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, don't drive because it's gonna cost you big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really. Take an Uber. It's a lot cheaper. How do you plead to the driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
That's true.
All right, so it's 3 days, 1 day credit, true to the enhancement. I'm going to suspend your license, ma'am. I have to suspend it. I'm going to suspend it for 180 days, ma'am. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks. You can run it. Hi, Lori.
It's on Mr. Cheatham on your jail docket. He was on bond for a criminal mischief and picked up another criminal mischief.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, and the felony retaliation.
The felony retaliation was out of the same transaction.
Okay. Whatever you want, really.
Okay, thank you,
You know,
Judge.
do you want to set it for the day after the felony, I guess?
I said it already. Did you need to revoke a bond? Okay.
Oh, they didn't give him a PR bond.
Okay.
So we're good.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Mr. D,
Got a couple, please, Judge.
I'm ready when you are.
Mr. Porter and Mr. Chop, step forward, please.
Citizen?
Excuse me.
Just come right in the center. Sorry.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Is this Mr.
This is Mr. Maurice Charleston. This is Mr. Order.
Okay,
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
both
No,
of you
sir.
are, shh. Gentlemen, both of you are charged with criminal cases. You've worked out an agreement to end these cases here. You both need to understand that there are serious consequences with what you're doing today. Mr. Maurice, you are charged with evading arrest or detention. This is an enhanceable offense, meaning that if you ever run from the cops again, you will be looking at a felony charge, years instead of days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The kind of agreement you worked out, this will end up as a conviction on your record. You're pleading to 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. Both of you give up many rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you gentlemen are not citizens of the United States, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you plead guilty, you are stuck with this. With you, sir, it will go on your record, the evading arrest. Mr. Orta, you are charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. The agreement that you've worked out is a 6-month deferred. This is a type of probation that if you complete it successfully, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. But you can't tell people it was dismissed. It doesn't get dismissed. You merely do the probation. If you complete it successfully, no conviction. Big difference. You understand?
Yes, sir.
For you to complete it successfully, you must do a gun safety class. No drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, 10 hours of community service, and forfeiture of the weapon. Is this how you understand it?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, Mr. Maurice? Guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty. I will send you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. If it's enhanced, it'll be abandoned. Good luck to you, sir. Mr. Orta, how do you plead to the unlawful carrying of a weapon? I'm not going to find you guilty. I will withhold that for 6 months. There we go. I'll make you a deal. If you do well, if you test negative, and if you're nice to everybody, if you get your classes done quick, I'll take you off in half the time. So you could literally be done with this thing in 3 months if you really kick butt, work hard, do well, and most of all, just be nice to everybody. You can do that, you'll be out quick. Can you get it done?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, man. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Chief Clerk.
Mr. Maurice?
Hold on, let me, hi, do you need me? Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
I am just following up with the state. I would have talked to the state back there, but I believe this is her case.
Sorry.
Eon Dawes.
Okay.
They asked for a couple of days to give me an update.
I'm sorry.
Eon Dawes.
Last name.
DAS.
It's actually Mackenzie's case. I don't know where she stepped out to.
Okay, well then I'll stand down.
As soon as she gets back, I will point you in her direction. I think she went to make a quick phone call.
Judge, brief on this,
Sure.
briefly. She has a screen for me to do removal.
Yeah, I think that she'll just go to,
See the plea paperwork to review sign first prior to signature. They can pull that up there and then they'll take it in office.
okay, I'm signing it now, Mr. Butler. That way she can go get it on.
All right, thank you.
She can just show it over there. She'll get that.
Okay, Ramon, you ready?
Product on page 5.
Jose Estrada, come on up.
While that gentleman's coming up, we're continuing to watch multiple court feeds this morning. The preliminary exam in Judge Simpson's court on that protest at the University of Michigan last year, that continues on, and it's pretty much all the same kind of stuff. It's officers testifying. Judge Shackelford also has a preliminary exam going on, it looks like, on a drunk driving case, but we're going to go ahead and stick with Judge Fleischer for now.
On March 3rd, 2025, officer observed the defendant making multiple lane changes without using a signal and observed him traveling at a high rate of speed. The officer had to travel 80 miles per hour in a 60 to 70 miles per hour zone to catch up with the defendant. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer was advised that the officer observed the defendant inside the front driver's seat of the vehicle with the engine running. The defendant stated that he came home from a party at his friend's house. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes and an odor of an alcohol emanating from his person, as well as slurred speech. SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 1 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant refused to give a sample, so a blood warrant was signed and executed.
All right, Mr. Estrada, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Any prior DWIs, and does he have a license?
No prior DWIs. He does have a license.
Okay, Mr. Estrada, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Or would you like?
I have to do that.
You need a lawyer. You're facing 6 months in jail, right? So do you have the ability, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer?
I could apply for a court appointed.
I can have you fill out an application. I'll look to see whether you qualify, and then we'll go from there. I'll have you fill out, or I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions. Then Deputy Miranda will give you an application. You want to talk to me real quick?
Yeah, it's a motion to sub. It's off docket though.
I'll sign it. Just have him put it in the key.
Yeah, it's in there. All right, thanks, Judge.
Got it. Okay.
You will leave.
Okay.
Mentally, okay.
How you doing, Your Honor? Miss Lee. Miss Lee, you were charged with theft. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have
I'd like to take notes.
Sure.
You said theft, 1 year in jail,
You're facing up to a year in jail
up to 1 year,
and or a $4,000 fine.
and or a $4,000 fine. Proceed.
You're going to do probable cause.
I don't even remember what that meant. I haven't been to court since 2006.
We're going to see whether there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case or not.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed to you if you cannot afford one. You ready?
What do you call that attorney that's,
Court appointed lawyer.
pro bono?
Yes.
Proceed.
Judge, do you mind giving me a cause number? It's not appearing on my docket.
I have.
Hey, please.
Oh,
A certain process we follow. I don't want you to engage with them.
I was just.
It's okay. 255. 4005.
So 255-4005?
Correct. And go kind of slow because she's taking notes.
Yes. On March 2nd, 2025, at approximately 2:30, officers were dispatched to a theft at Memorial City Mall at Macy's. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the complainant, who stated he noticed the defendant conceal a tester of perfumes in her bra. A different associate also noticed and asked the defendant to put the perfume back. The defendant did give the perfume back to the associate. Once the associate walked away, the complainant observed the defendant pick up the same perfume and conceal it in her bra, and then later put it in her purse.
I didn't even, in this.
The defendant walked past all points of sale without paying for the merchandise. The complainant stated that 4 tester perfumes were seen being concealed on CCTV footage, and 4, Your Honor. And another 4 were located on the defendant once she was apprehended by a supervisor and the complainant. The total value was $1,321. The defendant admitted to the officer that she did steal the perfume and that she tried to exit the store before she was apprehended.
Okay, what store are we talking about?
This is a Macy's at Memorial City Mall.
Okay. Ms. Lee, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to go back to any Macy's and not to go back to Memorial City Mall.
They've already informed me that.
If I find that you go back to the mall, if I find that you go to any Macy's, I will revoke your bond. I will put you in jail.
Okay.
Please do not pick up any new cases. Likewise, if I find that you pick up a new case, it's not going to go well. Would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
I would, sir.
Okay. So Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application for a lawyer. I need you to fill it out for me. I will have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll just have you take a seat wherever you'd like. And then just please fill it out. And when you're done, you can bring it back to us.
Officer Fleischer, I know you did mention that anything I said will be held against me. May I please say something?
Please don't. Let me give you a lawyer first. You tell the lawyer, and if it's
Okay.
appropriate, then they
Okay.
can tell me.
That's-
Okay?
Okay.
But I really don't want you but you can tell the lawyer.
I'm sick. I got a liver disease and I can't go to jail.
No one's going to jail today.
No, I mean, I wouldn't live there. If I'm not gonna make it. I have too many health issues, but
Don't worry, man.
thank you so much, Your Honor.
We're here to help.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna be a reset.
Well, I'll have you talk to the lawyer, but most likely it'll be reset. Ramona, you can go ahead and just
Yes, I'm sorry.
go ahead and call.
Judge, would you like us to follow those 5 conditions?
Please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so no Macy's whatsoever, any Macy's, and then any Macy's,
Yes, Your Honor.
and just Memorial City Hall.
Yeah, Judge, next.
No, James, real quick, tell me.
Oh, just wanted to see if, I have someone getting drug tested right now, Chris Garcia. Is it okay if I come in on Zoom for the results? 'Cause I'm not sure when he's gonna be.
Go.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And I have your cell phone, right?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you, don't worry.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Ramona, who's next?
Michael Lopez. Thank you, that's Judge.
Okay. Michael Lopez.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Lopez, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can't, you speak English? Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Oh,
On March 2nd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a family disturbance. Officers met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant is her husband. The complainant stated that they had arrived from a cruise where the defendant was drinking heavily and had stopped at a friend's house for more alcohol. The complainant stated that they then got into a verbal argument where when the complainant entered the door, the defendant slapped her with an open palm, causing pain. The complainant stated that the defendant tried to grab the sliding barn door off of its hinges and hit the complainant with it. The complainant kicked the defendant to stop him from throwing it at her. The officer met with the defendant, who admitted to pushing the complainant. The officer also met with a witness, the complainant's son, who stated that he found the complainant hiding behind an AC unit, who was also stated that the defendant threatened her with a gun and assaulted her.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you're consuming anything, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of weapons, and I'm entering in, or it looks like a magistrate's order from her emergency protection has already been entered. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate this court order, the state can and probably will file additional charges of violation of protective order, and then things will go sideways extremely quick. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I am ordering you not to have any contact with this person whatsoever.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what you need. I don't care which, don't have any contact.
Yes, sir.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer.
I hired a lawyer. I think he called up. He had a court in Austin.
Okay. So you have a lawyer?
Yes, sir. He had court in Austin. I think he called up here. Rudy Vasquez.
So let's do this. I'm going to have you meet with Ramona here momentarily. We'll have you sign a reset. I'll have you meet with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then we'll get you a date.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take a seat for me real quick. What happened?
Right here.
You killed it?
Right here.
Okay. All right.
Morning, Judge.
Good job, Mr. Bose.
He was actually my professor.
What?
Mr. Wells, yeah.
Wow, she's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, she
I
is.
know.
So I'm approaching on Timothy Smart.
Okay.
Yes.
And?
Get the T-Raz. They recommended Sativ.
Done. Yes.
How,
I guess we got to do a plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he says no, then we'll set up a
I
trial.
talked to him.
That's fine, Your Honor.
He doesn't want to do it.
No, we're gonna do it. He
Oh.
wants to do it. I talked to him. He knows.
Have you talked to the family about it yet?
I've been in contact with his dad. I just talked to dad this morning too.
Awesome.
I think he might be watching.
I'm down.
Sounds good.
Good. And that's
Okay.
something that he.
For how many months, Judge? I think Sativ minimum, I think is 6 months.
It's gonna depend on his progress because of the drugs season, it's probably closer to that.
Okay.
And the only problem, the only other problem is that there's aftercare, right? So the aftercare is a part of it, right? And
Right.
if he doesn't participate in the aftercare, let him know. We're gonna issue a warrant and we're gonna
Yes.
keep doing this over and
Until
over
we get it.
and over until it takes.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Good.
Judge.
Yeah.
And Judge Fleischer, I spoke with his dad and his dad really wanted me to tell you that thank you for preparing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the right time to
He
do it.
said you're amazing and you're great. He speaks all good things.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So that gentleman, Mr. Smart, that they were just referencing, we have a video up on him somewhere in the collection. So that's an interesting live update right there. I'll have to find that video and post an update on that probably later today. And my co-host has entered the studio, so say hi, Ellie. No? Oh, love. Ellie's the best. All right, let's get back to Judge.
Okay, let me do this. And then we'll do-
I found the wrong episode. But
Good morning, Mr. Woods.
Justice of the vehicles.
Mr. Woods, you're charged with 2 counts of theft. You're facing. Thanks. So you're facing 2 counts of theft. You're pleading to those both. You need to understand that both of those are going to go on your record. They will be there for the rest of your life. What happens? You get popped on another theft.
Probably a felony or something, right? Oh, I go to jail for sure.
No.
Prison? Right, okay, yeah.
Now looking at a felony charge after today, you pick up anything, you can go a case of beer.
Like milk, anything, yeah.
You're
Gotcha.
facing a lot of time in prison. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept these charges, they will go on your record. They'll be there forever. Mr. Woods, if you need anything, if you're living on the street, and if you want anything, come back here and we can help you out. I can give you a cell phone. I can give you a tablet, food, a place to sleep. All you got to do is come back and ask, and we can give you whatever you want. But don't just go out there and start taking, because
Right. Law.
it's a lot more than 15 days. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I do plead to the both of the cases, guilty or not guilty. I want to find you guilty. I'll follow it. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. No? Hi.
So, I have 2 clients I need to post for. The first one is Gallegos. So he did do his drug test, but it's today. It did come positive
For
for THC, but I wanted to see if we can allow the actual results coming back from the labs. Because my client was quite surprised about
Okay, so we'll put it off 3 days, 4 days.
5 days.
Yeah, it takes about 5 to 7 days, depending on
Okay,
how.
we'll set it off a week. It's okay.
And then my other client, Your Honor, is Mr. Randall.
What's the last name?
Randall
Is that,
Fernandez. Randall Fernandez.
oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to address the bond that's set at 10,000 right now.
Page 32, Judge.
Yeah, thanks.
Judge, do you want to allow?
Yeah, yeah, because I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Fernandez.
And hold on, Owen, let me just do this real quick, this arraignment. While they're bringing him out, I'm gonna do an arraignment. Javon Phillips, come up.
She's saying she was driving, she said you're having to all these ones.
Good morning, Mr. Phillips. Sir, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 4th, excuse me. On March 4th, 2025, on March 2nd, 2025, at around 5:58 p.m., officers were dispatched to 3414 Rebecca Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant and the defendant outside of their residence. The officer observed the complainant have slight redness on her cheek and a tear coming from her right eye. The officer observed no visible injuries on the defendant. The complainant stated that they were in a dating relationship, and she has been for approximately 3 years. The complainant stated that during an argument that began earlier in the day at a and that the argument carried over into the car. The complainant stated that during the argument, the complainant stated, "You were not going to hit me." And then the defendant slapped her with an open palm and she felt pain. Yes, Your Honor.
I see that there was a felony assault that was there a no PC on something?
Yes, it
At the
looks like it's an
same
OPC.
Do you have the rip done? Do we know if she wants to have contact with him or not?
I speak freely, Judge.
No, please don't. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they'll use it against you. But if you want a lawyer, I can give you a lawyer, Mr. Phillips, and whatever you say, whatever you want to say it to the lawyer, and then they can help you out.
Looks like we haven't made contact with her yet. The felony case is the same case as the misdemeanor. It looks like we're having issue finding the previous conviction.
Got it. All right, Mr. Phillips. I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person. And I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons. A protective order has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you violate the protective order, the state can and probably will file a violation of protective order against you. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
So is this a felony or a misdemeanor, sir?
Misdemeanor. Facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. So let's do this. I'll give you a lawyer today. Talk to the lawyer. Any issues, they can come back to me and talk, and then we can hash out anything. For now, I'm going to have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then I'll have you talk to the lawyer here momentarily. So can you file no contact and no weapons?
Yeah.
And then, I'd like to know.
Oh.
Are there any priors? And are the priors against the same complaining witness?
Right. Okay.
If there are, later we run an NCIC. All right. Are you Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. Fernandez.
Morning.
Sir, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. The reason you're out now is your bond is set at $10,000, which is unusually high for a misdemeanor. I don't know why, but she's asking for a bond reduction. I'd like to know what happened in the case and we'll go from there. Okay.
On March 5th, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a family disturbance type call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant. And the complainant, the defendant's mother, was trying to make him leave the house because she felt like her life was in danger due to his behaviors and threats he made to kill her with a gun. The complainant provided text message from the defendant's therapist. The defendant also told his brothers about the threats. The defendant showed his 14-year-old brother pictures of guns and stated all of his friends have guns. The brother felt in danger. The defendant admitted he made multiple threats in the past of killing his mother with a gun.
So, did I hear a specific threat?
Not directly to the mother, but he had threatened to kill the mom to other people in the family.
That's not, but a terroristic threat has to be aimed to a specific person.
Yes.
And there has to be immediacy.
And my response to that would be that it was aimed towards the mother, threats to kill with guns while showing pictures of guns that his friends have access to shows immediacy. And to show intent to put her in fear would be a question for the jury of whether he intended to make her feel fear, whether or not it was directly to her or to others. So I
Where the threat is.
So, I mean, so he told his brothers that he was going to kill his mother.
And
That is what the complainant stated. I don't have a time. Oh, wait. As per mother, the last time the defendant had made those threats was 2 days ago. So on March 3rd.
That's not even it.
No, this has to be, it's something where, I'm going to kill you, MF, now. It's not, hey, man, I'm gonna do this in a couple days, when I get up to it, because I'm kind of lazy, I got shit I need to do. It don't work like that.
I understand. I'm just concerned, so.
Gotta be careful. You got but one life. How was jail? Sucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking for much. All the knuckleheads that have guns that are running the street, they're gonna end up in here one day. That's all. I tell you, go start asking anybody when you get back to the tank, Really, life is too short to live in a box like this. You don't need a gun. How old are you?
Just turned 18 on March 5th.
You don't need a gun. Get your ass back into school, man. Knowledge is power. You want to make some money? Learn something. She's amazing. Look at her. How much money you make? Don't answer that. She makes a crap load of money because she knows things.
Yeah.
That's what life's about. Fancy vacation, nice cars, these big ass beaches, blue water. That's what life's about. But you get it in school by gaining knowledge, not with a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna find no problem, boss. Do something, man.
Sure.
Get back into school, learn something.
He's in school, so he needs to finish school.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's gonna do.
you're gonna get out today. Be somebody.
Yes, sir.
You're not a statistic. All right.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Honor.
That one was kind of bizarre. It's like a terroristic threat by hearsay. Yeah, I kind of agree with the judge on this one, but let us know in the chat what you think. This is really odd. It didn't seem like a very viable threat, but I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the chat.
Owen.
May I approach it?
Of course.
Judge, I have two cases on your docket, both of which are being dismissed. These are the two illegal dumping cases. Rubio.
Okay.
And the other one is Rodriguez, first name Arturo.
You just need to sign. You need.
Yes, if you'll sign them, cases will be done.
Sure, I got it. Let me. I don't know if have I sent. Here's that.
Rubio's first name is Nicholas.
I see him right here. I'm sending them both. Owen.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Brad.
How's your weekend?
Good, it was awesome. No, man, that kid's like as old as.
Mackenzie,
Yes, sir.
here's the other thing. How do we even know that he said that to the brother? How do you know the brother's not making it up?
Understood. I agree with you. And then there's mention about text from a therapist and it doesn't say anything about what those text messages said. I had to try my best on it though, Judge, so I understand.
There's response conditions for misleading.
We got it. I'll send it.
It was Rubio and Rodriguez. Yes, sir. Nicholas Rubio and Arturo Rodriguez.
You were doing safe.
Yes.
I heard it from him. Who's next? 3 more?
No, I'm not ready.
Land Rogers. Page 20.
Glenn Rogers, come up. No, Roger.
Bottom of page 22.
Eric Salash, come up. I just deleted conditions on that because I think it was a no-show. Hey, good. Eric Ramirez Salash.
Oh, just that was for one thing where we had, I think it was, ice testing.
Right.
And with the fake file, and they wanted to keep it as pending. I asked them why they filed it. You want me to pull that back?
Yeah, pull it back.
Okay. Raise your right hand.
So do we know, Ramona, is this person here? Bottom of 22?
So do you have an address when you live up there?
So that's it.
Yeah, you can put like a living address.
I'm more concerned about the money.
If you have any income or expenses. Okay, so you just gotta fill it up. You're not.
I'm just gonna, please let me just get it all you said. Let me just break some.
Okay. Trey, just pull it back. So do we have bond conditions on him yet?
No.
Okay, so just hang tight. Let me get your bond conditions. We'll just have you sign it and then we'll go.
Just one for research.
THA.
Yvonne Phillips.
Yeah. Go. Hey, talk to me. Did you file conditions on Phillips by chance?
Did you have the conditions on Phillips?
I thought I did. Did it not go through you, Ronald? I can do it one more time.
Please.
Good morning, Judge. I got appointed this morning to Mr. Butler, first name Philander.
I have them, Abigail. I have them.
Did it? Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
And Your Honor, he has a pending felony case. However, I did see that he made bond on that one, and this is the only thing that's keeping him in custody right now.
What would you like?
Your Honor, and realistically, I talked to him to see if there's any means for his family or friends to go ahead and pay this bond, which I ultimately would be around 100. He didn't provide any information on that. He's actually not sure how he made bond on his felony case.
Got a PR bond on it. So it looks like he picked up a UUMV, February 24th. And now he's picked up a misdemeanor theft. I guess they haven't gone back or looked. I don't know what they're going to do. He's set for 331 on that case. I don't know if they're going to yank the bond on that or not. I don't know. But he wants me to give him a PR bond.
Yes, Your Honor. I do have contact information. I have an address for him as well.
Hey, Deputy Miranda, do you mind bringing up Mr. Butler? Yeah. Give me a second. Let me do an arraignment real quick and then we'll talk to Mr. Butler. Hey, do you have anyone else?
Rogers, but he's talking to his attorney outside.
Yvonne Phillips?
Judge, have you-
Come on up.
Did you grant any attorney?
Did I sign for Rogers or no? Rogers, did I sign?
But there's a bond conditions for Phillips.
Well, that's what I meant for Phillips.
Judge, Mr. Phillips does have extensive out-of-county criminal history. Yes. Okay.
Ramona Estrada.
You know, you should kindly remark, please read them when we go different. Here's coming to this. You'll need to appear on the court. It's validated, it's up. Go on.
Ready? Good morning, Mr. Butler. How's jail?
Not good.
Great. That makes me happy, because the harder time you have, the more we have them for a reason. Here's the rub. Your lawyer is asking for me to give you a PR bond in this case. You were on bond for an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up a theft case. I have no idea what happened on the theft case. We're going to figure out what happened real quick, and then we'll talk about your bond.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You're facing a Class B theft, so it's up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
On March 7, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a theft call at a Target in Harris County, Texas. The defendant was observed on surveillance video placing merchandise in a black suitcase he also obtained from the business and crossed all points of sale without attempting to pay. The defendant was detained without incident. The total value of items stolen was $355.46.
So you said he also has a lot of
No, that was Mr. Phillips.
oh, Mr. Phillips has that account.
Yes.
Miss Keela Lee?
How old is Mr. Butler?
He's 25 years old, Your Honor.
Miss Keela Lee?
Miss Lee?
And Judge, I was looking, I did not see any sort of history of him not showing up to court or any sort of bond forfeitures on his previous cases.
The problem is you keep picking stuff up. Stop. I don't want you to say, but my problem are two things. Number one, sometimes people are their own worst enemies and they continue to pick cases up there. They're just, it can't stop. I don't know. But you, Mr. Butler, you're 25 and you have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you're on your 13th and 14th case. And a lot of these are very serious felony cases. Unauthorized use, robbery, unauthorized use, felony fraud, evading in a motor vehicle, felony theft. Now another unlawful. Why? Why would we continue to give you PR bonds when you've, since January, you're on your 4th case?
What's her last name?
Why?
Soros.
The thing that you need to consider, Mr. Butler, is it would only cost literally $100 to get you out of jail right now. And there's no one there to pony it up for. These are the things that you need to consider when you're out there in the free world, because you were in the free world just now and you picked up a theft case. But you need to start thinking, well, even if I pick up a case where it's $100 to get out, I have no one that's going to get me out. Why? Why would we continue to, tell me.
And Your Honor, I mean, as the state mentioned, he hasn't forfeited any of his cases before, although he does have other cases. There's a few that you mentioned that were dismissed ultimately. And he has already provided me contact information. Keep in contact with me so that he's not a flight risk. He is originally from Houston, so he would show up to court.
But I don't want you to pick up any more cases. Right. In the short 2.5 months in this year, you're working your 4th case. I can't give you a PR bond, man. I don't want you to pick up the 5th. Bill comes due, Mr. Butler. And now we'll see. I'm sorry. He's working for his 4th case within the last 2.5 months. It's not going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 5th case. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if you're going to get out now, but if you do, you're not allowed to go to any Target stores anywhere. Do you understand? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Butler. I can't just keep
Thank you, Your Honor.
right.
I have to leave.
You have a plea? What's the last name?
It's,
I'm not ready.
Oh, it's not ready yet. It's a jail one, right? Okay, they're not ready yet.
I'll go up to court for you.
Yeah, no rush. Mr. Paz,
Yes, Your Honor.
is he out?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
Okay, or do you need a translator?
I do, Your Honor, and your coordinator has requested one.
Yeah, okay.
And Judge, did you want me to file the bond conditions for Mr. Butler? The Target, no going to Target?
Don't worry about it. I'll have her do it.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yeah, what was the last name of your gentleman?
It was Garcia, Chris Garcia.
I don't have my JLO here yet, James. As soon as she gets back, I'll let you know.
Okay, yes, Judge.
Felicia's out.
Okay.
Well, tell me, you got something?
Yeah.
James, did you want to say something?
All I wanted to say, Judge, is that he told me that he came back clean.
Okay, let me confirm that, and then we'll let you go.
Yes, Judge.
Hey. Yeah.
So I was appointed to a fugitive warrant. I did turn in the extradition waiver. This is for DeMarcus Thomas.
Yeah.
And during the process, Your Honor, I told my client I would ask, his wife is here too. They're telling me a bunch of items were seized, iPad, some money, phones, which is very odd to me. So I asked the state, they're looking into what agency took it.
You know who, does it say?
Because I mean, he came outside is my understanding and was arrested. I don't know why they went in the house. And I know I'm just on the fugitive warrant, so I'm just trying to guide
Did
him
they
and
have
his
some
wife.
kind of search warrant?
I don't know, Judge.
Just
This is
in a-
actually my first time it's coming to my
Yeah.
attention too, so I'm asking Dave
Okay,
to figure it out.
I don't know, no, I don't know why they would seize all that stuff unless they thought it was like.
Well, there might be another investigation, but
And they only have what, it's 61 days?
to serve them with the asset forfeiture.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just.
I don't know, I don't have.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
said I'd bring it up. I'm kind of told them maybe get a civil rights attorney for that aspect of it. And then see if they can get, or maybe an asset forfeiture at some point, but I don't know if you need to bring him out for.
No.
Okay. And then I had one other one, John Booth, he's on your docket today. They did file he was returned to his jurisdiction, so.
Okay,
They
so I'll
future-
sign the figure here whenever they file.
That's
it.
all I have, Judge.
Got it.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Back.
Tony, ready? Okay, Ms. Fox, you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Solange, come up.
Buenos días, señor. Se para aquí, por favor. Yo soy su intérprete.
Okay.
Conteste a voz alta, por favor.
Okay. You're, Mr. Solange. Sir, you were charged with terroristic threat.
Amenazas terroristas.
You are facing up to 6 months in jail
6 meses en la
and or a $2,000 fine.
de $2,000.
You're going to do probable
Vamos a leer
cause.
causa.
You have the right
Usted
to
tiene el
remain
derecho a
silent.
mantener silencio.
Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Podría ser.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed
Uno
to
se le
you.
nombrará. Ok.
On February 9th,
El 9 de febrero del
2025,
2025,
an officer
un
was
oficial fue
dispatched
despachado
to a
a una
residence
residencia
in regards to a
en cuanto
disturbance with
a
a
un
weapon.
disturbo con un arma de fuego.
The officer met
El
with the
oficial se
complainant,
reunió
who
con
stated that
la
he has
denunciante,
ongoing
que declaró que
issues
tiene problemas
with his neighbor
con
over
su
parking.
vecino sobre estacionamiento.
The complainant stated that
El
today,
denunciante
while in his
dijo que hoy,
driveway,
mientras estaban en la marquesina,
his nephew told him to get
su
down
sobrino le dijo que se
after he
bajara
observed the
después que observó
defendant
el acusado
point a rifle in
apuntando
the
un
direction
rifle
of the complainant.
hacia la dirección del denunciante.
The complainant
El
stated
denunciante
he
le
feared
dijo
for his
que
life
temía por su
and
vida
ran to call the
y corrió a
police.
llamar a la policía.
The complainant's wife
La
filmed
esposa
the
del
defendant
denunciante
pointing
dijo
a
que el
rifle
acusado
at the complainant.
apuntando un rifle hacia
Officer observed the video
los oficiales
footage in
observaron
which the
la
defendant
cinta
is
donde el
wearing a white
acusado
tank top
tenía
and black
una
shorts
camisa blanca
while
y
holding what
con
appears to
pantalones
be a
cortos.
black rifle.
Entonces tiene en sus manos algo que se
The
parece ser
officer
un rifle.
observed the
El oficial
defendant facing
observó
it in the
el acusado
direction of
mirando
the
hacia la
complainant's
dirección,
residence
la
and
residencia del
positioning
denunciante
himself to aim the
y
rifle.
posicionándose de manera de
The
apuntar
defendant
el rifle.
then
El
disposes of
acusado
the rifle
entonces
in
se
a nearby
deshizo del
shed
rifle
once
en
he
una
realizes
silla
he is being
cerca,
filmed.
ya cuando se da cuenta que lo están
The
grabando.
officer
Los
next made
oficiales
contact with the
entonces
defendant
hicieron
and
contacto
observed
la
the
segunda vez,
defendant wearing the same clothes
observaron al
as
acusado
in the
la
video
misma ropa que
and
estaba
standing
en la
next to the
cinta
same shed.
y corriendo hacia la misma caseta.
The defendant was then
El
detained.
acusado entonces fue detenido.
The defendant
El
stated
acusado
he did not have
declaró
any
que él no
weapons
tenía ningún arma de fuego,
and then stated
ningún arma.
that the
Entonces
rifle was
dijo que el
hidden
rifle
inside the
estaba
shed.
ocultado dentro de la caseta.
The officer found the
Los oficiales
rifle
encontraron el
and
rifle y
determined it was an
determinaron
airsoft
que
rifle
era un rifle
similar
airsoft
style to
similar
a real assault rifle
a un
and
verdadero
can
rifle de
cause serious
y
bodily
podría
injury
causar
or death.
lesiones físicas muy serias o hasta muerte.
Mr. Salash, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the
Para seguir
case.
adelante con su caso.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness and not to be in possession of any weapons.
De ningún arma.
Has he since moved? Because I'm going to order
Me preguntaron
like
si se ha
200 feet
mudado
as well, that he not
Voy a
go
ordenar que-
near the complaining witness.
cerca de
No, Your
200
Honor, he
pies.
still lives in the same
Vive
residence.
todavía en la misma
And the
residencia.
complaining witness actually
Y
lives across the street.
él, de hecho,
And it's a
vive
two, I
cruzar la
actually,
calle.
it's a two-lane, I looked it up.
Y hay de
It's a
dos
two-lane street,
sentidos, una calle
with
de
opposite
dos
direction
sentidos
traffic.
con el tráfico que va
I think it's
uno al
probably
otro.
outside of the
Yo creo
200-foot
que está
boundary,
fuera, más allá
but
de
it's
esa,
across the street.
I'm
de
ordering you
200
not
pies
to
de
go
ordenos que
2
usted no,
feet of where
menos
this
de
person
200
lives
pies donde vive,
or where this person works.
donde trabaja
I
esa
do not
persona.
want them living in
Yo no
fear.
quiero que vivan en temor.
You understand?
¿Entienden?
Okay.
Okay.
If I find that you violate these conditions,
Si
if I find that you put my public in danger, I will revoke your bond and I'm going to put you in jail.
lo voy a poner en la
I
cárcel.
don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission
Este país
and you go to jail,
va a la cárcel,
immigration finds you because they sweep it every day.
ellos van
They
todos
will put an immigration detainer on
en
you
inmigración.
and you will be stuck in there until this case is over with and then shipped off to immigration. If you were able to get out of immigration on an immigration bond,
Una
you
fianza de
best
inmigración,
behave. Because anything goes wrong,
cualquier cosa,
you will also lose that immigration bond and all that money you've paid
todo ese dinero que has
will be
pagado
someone else's.
será de otra persona.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende? Yes, yes.
You have a lawyer.
Tiene un abogado.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your
Abogado.
appearance. But it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Paz, and he will tell you if and when you have to
Le
come
puede
back to
decir
court.
cuándo tú tienes que venir a la corte.
Thank you.
If he tells me he cannot get a hold of
Que no
you
se puede-
because you were playing games and you're not responding to his phone calls or text messages, likewise, I will
Llamadas,
revoke your bond.
también revoco su fianza.
You
¿Lo
understand?
entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Está
Do you
bien.
mind filing those conditions?
Absolutely.
For now, we will
Por
have you
ahora.
sign a reset with Ramona.
Otra
After that, you will take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We will have you sign it.
fianza, usted le
And
va a
after that, you'll be free to go.
Entonces, después de eso, está libre para irse. Okay,
Thanks.
yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for working with us and letting me have time to get out from immigration. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
There's already some in the queue, the ones you deleted.
Got it. Okay. Oh, that's right. Right in there. Don't file it. I got it. I already got it set. I forgot that they'd already been filed.
Okie dokie, we're going to go ahead and call it a day here for the Courtroom Files Live. Many other things that we have to move on to today. But I appreciate you joining us for day 4 of our live streams. This is just something new that we're adding to the channel. It doesn't affect the other content that we have, but always trying to find new and better ways to reach everybody and provide different perspectives and everything else. Updates on some things that we watched today, specifically in Judge Simpson's court. They had the preliminary examination going on for the protests that were at the University of Michigan last year. That continues, and it's honestly a little bit of a slog right now. There's each of the defendants, and there's multiple defendants, they all each have their own attorney, and each of these attorneys is separately questioning each witness that they bring up. This thing is more of a trial than a preliminary exam at this point. I was thinking when I first looked at it with you all this morning that it'd last like half a day. At the rate they're going, this is probably going to go on for a couple of days. So we'll keep an eye on that and perhaps do an update on that tomorrow as may be fit. But again, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Live shows bring a different audience from what the regular videos bring, which bring a different audience from what the shorts bring. We try to provide all of that. If you enjoy what we do here, the best thing that you can do is put a thumbs up on the video, because that tells the algorithm that we're doing a good job, and also consider sharing it with the people that you know. That is the best way to grow. But either way, we appreciate having you here. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.